Welcome you all. I'm Joseph Shaini, Assistant Professor, Department of Economics, Holy Cross College, Nagarkoil. I welcome you. Today we learn about the topic of resource profiles of Indian economy. The first resource profile of Indian economy. First we learn about characteristics of Indian economy. The first characteristics of Indian economy: low per capita income, excessive dependence of agriculture and primary producing, high rate of population growth, existence of chronic unemployment and underemployment, poor rate of capital formation, inequality in the distribution of wealth, low level of technology, underutilization of natural resources, lack of infrastructure, low level of living, poor quality of human capital, demographic characteristics, inadequate development of economic growth. Low per capita income. In India, the national income and per capita income is very low, and it is considered as one of the basic features of underdevelopment. As per World Bank estimates, the per capita income of India stood out only $720 in 2005. Keeping aside a very few countries, this per capita income figure of India is the lowest in the world, and it is inch lower than China and Pakistan. Excessive dependence of agriculture and primary producing. Indian economy is characterized by too much dependence on agriculture, and thus it is primary producing out of the total working population of our country. A very high proportion of it is engaged in agriculture and allied activities, which contributed a large share in the national income of our country. High rate of population growth. India is maintaining a very high rate of growth of population since 1950. Thus, the pressure of population in our country is very heavy. This has resulted from a very high level of birth rates coupled with a falling level of death rates prevailing in our country. Existence of chronic unemployment and underemployment. Rapid growth of population coupled with inadequate growth of secondary and tertiary occupations are responsible for the occurrence of chronic unemployment and underdeveloped problems in our country. In India, unemployment is structural one, unlike in developed countries which of the cyclical type. Poor rate of capital formation. Capital deficiency is one of the characteristic features of the Indian economy. Both the amount of capital available per head and the present rate of capital formation in India is very low. Consumptions of crude steel and energy are the two important indicators of low capital per head in the underdeveloped countries like India. Inequality in the distribution of wealth. The report of the Reserve Bank of India reveals that nearly 20% of the households owing less than rupees 1000 worth of asset possess only 0.7% of the total assets. Moreover, 15% of the households owing less than rupees 5000 worth of assets possess barely 8% of the total assets. Lastly, the top 4% households possessing assets worth from than rupees 50,000 held more than 31% of the total assets. Low level of technology. The economy of our country is thus suffering from technological backwardness. Absolute techniques of production are largely being applied in both the agricultural and industrial sectors of our country. Sophisticated modern technology is being applied in productive units at a very limited scale as it is very much expensive. Moreover, it is very much difficult to adapt modern technology in Indian productive system with its untrained, illiterate and unskilled labor. Underutilization of natural resources. India is considered as a very rich country. Various types of natural resources wise land, water, minerals, forest and power resources are available in sufficient quantity in the various parts of the country. Lack of infrastructure. Lack of infrastructure facilities is one of the serious problems from which the Indian economy has been suffering till today. These infrastructural facilities include transportation and communication facilities, electricity generation and distribution, banking and credit facilities, economic organization, health and educational institutes, etc. Low level of living. The standard of living of Indian people in general is considered as very low. Nearly 25 to 40% of the population in India suffers from malnutrition. The average protein content in the Indian diet is about 49 grams only per day in comparison to that of more than double the level in the developed countries of the world. Poor quality of human capital. Indian economy is suffering from its poor quality of human capital. Mass literacy is the root of this problem, and literacy at the same time is retarding the process of economic growth of our country. As per 2001 census, 65.3% of the total population of India is illiterate, and the rest 34.7% still remains illiterate. Demographic characteristics. The demographic characteristics of India are not at all satisfactory, rather, these are associated with high density of population. A smaller proportion of the population in working age group of 15 to 60 years and a comparatively larger proportion of the population in the minor age group of 0.15 years as per 2011 census. The density of population in India was 382 per square kilometer as compared with world density of population of 41 per square kilometer. Inadequate development of economic organization. Poor economic organization is another important characteristic of the Indian economy. For attaining economic development at a satisfactory rate, certain institutions are very much essential. As for example, for mobilization of savings and to meet other financial needs, more particularly in the rural areas, development of certain financial institutions are very much essential. These are the resources of Indian economy. So thank you.